WEFM, the Fresh Sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, it's WEFM 99.9, 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. We now gotta continue with Lyf with his commentary this morning. Let's see if we have Lyf on the line. Hello, good morning, Lyf.
Yeah, so Sean brought up a very important point too. I remember when I used to do marketing for CDC and the rural carnivals, right? All of the rural carnivals, they would have queen shows, soca, monarch, calypso competitions, it used to be a full carnival in the rural communities, everything. And then at one point, that just died. As Sean said, it turned into a wet fete and a street jump up. And then the rural carnivals used to put off such impressive queen shows that the beauty shows committee back then, when Mr. Rodriguez, they used to say the rural queens are the ones who will be coming into Miss SVG.
It was like a training ground in a sense for those.
Yeah. So you would have eight rural queens coming in, because all the rural carnivals, and most of the time you have these girls coming in from the rural sides, you know what I mean? And it used to be really good. I don't know what happened. But the good thing about it, right, is when you have something that is broken, right, it's the ideal time that you could fix it. You understand?
the rural queen show, maybe nobody really maybe a challenge in terms of sponsorships, organizing it. We don't know, maybe a challenge.
Yeah, I think it came down to the funding, but I always say they used to always argue. The rural carnivals used to always argue that the money they get from CDC is not enough. That used to be one of the arguments. But then it had companies with corporate social responsibility. You no longer have corporate social responsibility. Companies no longer care about sponsoring anything. That's just the reality of the situation.
You think so? Or I think they only care. Some of them only care about sponsoring events where they could get certain mileage. Yeah. And I think a fete might quicker stand a chance to get sponsorship.
Yeah, because from organizations, from businesses that sell drinks, they got sponsored. Yeah. They know they get it back. But there were companies that came into St. Vincent and the Grenadines, hot and sweaty, and would sponsor everything. And from the time they got a foothold, they stopped.
Although I think with that though, Lyf, I think what we found is that the same companies were always being targeted. The church groups targeting, different organizations and group service, community service based organizations are targeting them. Schools are targeting them. I find, and there are some that that just come to mind, where you always find that they're the ones being targeted for sponsorship. What I think for me with the Rural Carnival is that sense of ownership in a way. I think in a sense of ownership in a way where if you can have the businesses within the communities, if they are able to, then they should be the ones, let's say, targeted in the first instance. Right now, maybe they might not be able to give thousands or whatever, right? But that sense of community ownership in terms of saying, okay, so we are contributing to something for our community, our constituency. I think maybe that is what we need to probably try to do if it's possible for some of these businses.
You see, I don't like how you use the word targeted because
what to say?
approach.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I work closely with several of the companies that you would consider as targeted, right? I work closely with them in the past. And if you want to target them, that's your business, because they go through the list of people who they want to help. You understand? They don't say, oh gosh, we get a letter, we have to go and give them this money now. That's not what they do. They pick and choose who they want to help in relation to how much mileage they could get. That's what they do. So when they say they're targeted, you could always target them all they want. these letters go before a committee, a marketing committee or whatever. Some of them might reach forward and go to the board if they're asking for a lot of money, and then the board will decide whether or not we would want to sponsor these things, right? And then, as I said, these companies got the foothold, they got the stronghold, they know exactly what they wanted to achieve, and they have achieved it, and now they just totally disappear. They're not sponsoring anything at all. They have
so someone's been trying to call, so let's just say this call quickly.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Yeah, I think the beauty show is probably finance probably is the main issue, probably why it's not coming on. The same thing they have they used to have the female calypso and the female calypso competition. They haven't been able to take part in a number of years too, and that's suffering from getting finance. So that's probably the main reason right there.
Okay. All right.
Sponsorship. The brewery. Before the pandemic, every time I hear something entertainment-wise, is the brewery sponsoring. And I'm saying they're overworking the brewery. You're killing the goose that lay the golden egg. And at Carnival, and I've said this a couple of times on a program dealing with Carnival, with CDC officials on the program. I think the supermarkets need to put more into Carnival. These big supermarkets, the Massey, the Vera, Peppercorn, Bonady, Graves, Randy's, put more money into Carnival. They benefit a lot from Carnival. Drinks are sold, food, not just drinks are sold. Food they sell, snacks they sell. So I think they need to put more. So we don't need the same. We need to have a wide variety of people sponsoring Carnival, not the same people over and over and over. You're like killing the goose with the golden egg, having the same person all the time delivering the sponsorship. All right, bye.
All right, thanks, Queens. All right, we lost Lyf there for a moment. Now he's back.
Yeah.
All right, Lyf.
I really wanted to hear what the other caller was saying, but I missed that. I before I went off, I already said something about sponsorship and the brewery and what's that. So if you could give me a little.
No, he was saying that it should be spread in terms of, let's say, other business places and so forth, supermarkets, those who tend to benefit a lot during Carnival, that they can be targeted, just not, let's say, places like the brewery.
Approached.
Yeah, but let me also say one other thing though. One of the things that I recognize as well when it comes to sponsorship is that there are persons who okay. There are many organizations that wait too late to put together their budget and to send out letters requesting the sponsorship, right? So if everybody is going to wait until close to Carnival, then it's going to become a problem, right? Everybody knows the dates for Carnival well in advance. And that is one of the things that I've noticed is that they just wait until the last minute, and then certain places or certain organizations are flooded with the requests.
We have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Coach. Go right ahead. Go right ahead, Coach.
Somehow I can't figure out who wake up in the head to put mass tents in a tent. I can't figure out who come up with that idea.
Maybe because it named mass tent.
I didn't want to say nothing there, but you said it, so yeah.
Well, to share that with a say, to share that, it falls back on me because I use the word tent. That is a weak move. I mean, you don't move people into a building. Carnival is just 3 months away, basically, to really start. So when you were telling me that you can't delay that project for 3 months so the people then could use the building, and then you could make plans for the next Carnival. Just leave the people, they don't move the pay truck, as I say, to move on all the stuff in there. And then you're telling them they must uproot again and move to another place. That is unsecured. When you lock that tent up, there's no big lock you can put on that tent to secure its materials. Carnival material is very expensive. And you have some unscrupulous people will go and cut that tent and take out your stuff and sell it to another mass camp if possible, or try to sell it. We hope that no other mass campaign just buying it just. So you can't do that kind of thing. And in terms of the Queen show, don't tell me that because of the election. The Queen ladies and them, the ladies who go to Queen shows, has nothing to do with the election. Them final ready for Queen show. Them ain't studying the election. So don't tell me that because of the election you don't have a Queen show. There must be some other reason why Queen show didn't come out this year, but don't tell me it's because of the election or because of anything. Because trust me, the women and them who likes to go to Queen show, they like to dress up in a nice dress and thing and plan, they ain't concerned about no election.
And it would have been a break as well too from all the political atmosphere as well. A change in
the first place, Queen show shouldn't even have been done in October. It should have been in Vincy Mass itself.
Let me tell you something. I mean, it probably was not feasible for them to have those two shows, but I'll be honest with you, when I was spoke on Carnival, Miss Caraval and Miss SVG, well, it wasn't Miss SVG back then. It used to be called Carnival Queen. Those two shows were big shows. Those two shows used to pull people in the park. Because when you hear Miss Caraval, you know, you have people coming from other countries coming and touring up. So it was a yeah, I think like
Kojo?
So yeah, no, I'm saying I was hearing something, but it seemed like I've been hearing back myself. Anyhow, but Miss Caraval was a big show. Miss Caraval used to pull a lot of people from other countries. When Barbados again represent, Grenada again represent, St. Lucia. We used to have Venezuela, we even have Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and that was why I know that that's why I also Maka, I think Maka doesn't really I'm not sure if I'm presenting you properly. If you don't too much care for Miss Caraval, is that?
No, I care for it.
Okay, all right. So Maka cares for Miss Caraval, right? But I was saying that I would like for it to come back because during our carnival time, remember now we do have an influx of persons from different countries who are coming to SVG to experience Vincy Mass. You know, so to have it back at this time, you know, given that our festival is growing, especially growing not just regionally but internationally as well. For me, having both Miss SVG and Miss Caraval back during the carnival season would be ideal.
Yeah. I'll give a joke. My mother hasn't been in Carnival for years. One time we had a little family reunion home where my aunt from Trinidad came over. My mom came down. And in the park, but because my aunt living in Trinidad, when Miss Carnival from Trinidad jumped, she jumped. My mother tell her, sit down, you've been sanctioned, don't It was such a rivalry, you know what I mean? It was such. Because people want their country to win. When St. Vincent lose in the sky, I don't know, that was a big thing in St. Vincent because St. Vincent is supposed to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we used to support other girls as well too. Like I remember, like sometimes Miss Jamaica would come and we would there be, you know, we would give Jack the jackets.
For a lot of people, when St. Vincent lose, it's a big thing.
It was.
When you look at the show, you could tell that St. Vincent's weak and it's strong. Mm-hmm. So it was gone, which I was saying. But what I'm saying, even though people didn't even look for no weakness in St. Vincent's supposed to win because it is in St. Vincent.
All right, thanks, Kojo.
But they can't do the carnival man and that, man. Anyhow, we're really sure I have something else to say to you. You see that change the price and thing? When they have the consumption tax onto thing, when they change it, then people just add the VAT onto the consumption tax and they never cut. Business prices go cut nothing off, they just add it.
You talking, I mean, but the VAT did? That's what you're talking about? Kojo, money for me and you and that. Kojo, always, you know. Money for that.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Yeah, the thing with the Miss Carver shows that CDC said that it had become too expensive for them. Man, they just have shows that you should never cut. It don't matter how expensive they cut. That should could have been marketed. That should could have been marketed and made plenty money. I just think that sometimes we have things and we just don't know how to market them. Right? You kill a show like Miss Carver because I said too expensive for CDC and people are going on whatever. Man, the country itself. The country itself should be the one paying for that show. The government itself should be the one paying for that show to keep that show coming here. Now, you see like all the push we talking about tourism and different kind of tourism and thing. I think that we should try to bring back that Miss Carver show to boost to the tourism because we live in such a closely connected world now as compared to back then. That I think that we could attract plenty foreigners to come to St. Vincent for that Miss Carver show.
I agree.
You know what I mean? As I say, when things are broken, it's easy for somebody in charge because now they can go and fix it and get the praise for fixing it. Anybody who comes in and fixes these issues would be hailed a hero. You know, if they thought you have to go. And then, you know, when we talk about hero again, where we have to discuss next week, why we only up to this day have one national hero. So that's something I have to talk about. But then sometimes the topics just come and you just go for the days, right? But yeah, it was Carnival this morning. We need to sort out these issues with Miss SVG, the mass tents, or whatever. And we could get done. These things are not rocket science, and it just takes willpower. It just takes the willpower to get it done. It's not rocket science.
And we do have a new team of persons, younger persons, you know, who live in a bit more of a globalized space. So yeah, I think it's possible. At least let's try. I don't believe in just throwing in the towel when it comes to certain things. I believe let's try. All right. So
yeah. And for Miss Carnival, I think Sanders might be very much interested in housing those 10 young ladies from these countries for Miss Carnival. That would be a serious push for them too. You know what I mean? We could get Duman, could bring it back.
Listen to you what you're
you know what I mean? Yeah, we could bring it back.
Sanders could be a sponsor too.
That was say a sponsor that could house them.
Yeah.
That show used to be a big thing, you know. We could sell TV rights for that show. CDC could sell TV rights for that show in all the countries. That's come like that was like the Miss Universe, the Miss of the Caribbean, and we're the only person had that, you know, and we just leave that for that dead off. You know what I mean? Oh, it's too expensive. Because the money must have been getting in somebody else's pocket, some other people's pocket for that to go expensive thing. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. I have to go because, you know, people ringing on my phone and what.
All right.
So, you all enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy your weekend or whatever. Maka don't hit no brunch and get on bad.
It's happening at a brunch this weekend?
Brunch this weekend?
I ain't sure I had one last week. The weekend.
I have to look at certain people's pictures and realize, oh, there was another brunch, and I'm like, it's every weekend. But anyways,
no, but
before we joke around too much with it, I will say though that I actually don't necessarily have an issue with it because at least now people have a reason to maybe get out every weekend because before,
just nice. Right? Because
before you used to find it happening at seasonal times, but you know, Maka celebrating his birthday on Sunday. There's an event that you could go to on this Sunday rather than putting it off, you know. So
now you mentioned that there's actually one on my birthday, exactly on my birthday. But that's another thing again. We in St. Vincent, we changed the word brunch, you know. We bad down here now.
Yeah, but yeah, so the name does say it does need to change because
we do that.
Lunch and dinner.
We so smart. We do that. People, listen. It are people, right? It are people that guys living in the US coming to St. Vincent every weekend for these brunches, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we bad like that. So you got that we could change brunch, but we can't pour Miss Carnival. Come on, man.
And my thing is, if you know you can't afford the ones during Carnival season, capitalize on these ones now because these cheaper.
Yeah.
But Lyf, you know what I'm surprised about? The time for these brunches. Sometimes a brunch might start 1 o'clock.
So that's why it's not really a brunch.
No, most of them advertise for 11, right? Most of them advertise for 11. But then people ain't going for 11. So they have to change and say, okay, 1, because like they go open the doors at 11 and the food there or whatever, and people not turned up till like 2, 3 o'clock.
Yep.
And then like they say they go end 8, and then like the crowd so they just had to go 9, 10. The police had to give a little leeway now. You know, yeah, let people enjoy themselves. Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. A lot of these events can't come off at the time that they're supposed to come off because why? Vincentians prefer to go late.
Yeah.
Right?
Late. Yeah. But
you had to tell people if you tell people that your event starts at 1, they're not showing up till 3, 4 o'clock, you know? So
yeah. And then if you try for what one, they say, what me, you come from you're countryman now, we're getting so all your newcomer now.
you know? The food, and that's if the food can be reached. Yeah, so.
A friend of mine was telling me these brunches kill off the $5 parties.
Which $5 party? Who wants to go to a $5 party? You know
$5 parties.
You used to have the $5 party in community centers and so forth.
But that's long time ago, Maka.
That's long time.
I know. You know how much danger your life being in a $5 party. That's crazy. So anyway, next week we're gonna touch some of them topics. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. I have to go.
All right, take care, Lyf, and drive safe. All right.
Yeah.
All righty, and that was today's commentary with Lyf Compton. Let's take a quick break and be back with more Activated Mornings here on WEFM.
Nothing else sounds as good as
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.